Hey guys, Constance here, Cosmopolitan Cornbread. So, been out working today. I've been doing some mowing. I've actually mowed almost the entire property, the entire homestead, minus this area over here, which I kind of call the south pasture. This has been the last part for me to mow because it's springtime and we've got thistles, and it has turned into a spring tradition, I guess. Part of the routine is every spring I come out here and I pull thistles with my handy little tool. I had a subscriber several years ago mention or suggest I get this tool for pulling weeds, and it is amazing. Unfortunately, it has, I believe, also been discontinued, and I have used mine so much that it kind of sticks here and there. I've had to duct tape the handle back together, and I'm really hoping that I get a couple more years out of it because there's nothing like it on the market. I've looked and looked and looked, and I've not found anything like this. So I don't know if you guys know of one that is available. Please let me know if you know for sure it works, because these thistles are kind of a pain to get out of the ground because you've got to get the root out, and if you don't get the root out, it's just going to come right back. Because the first time we came out here trying to deal with the thistles, we burned them. I used a weed torch. We came out here and spent hours just burning thousands and thousands of thistles. Actually, it took me a couple days to get it all done. And nowadays we've gotten it kind of under control. They're reducing in numbers every year, which is good, but I do still have to come out every spring and pull them. And so far I've filled my trailer back here 3 times, and I'm not sure, but I don't know how many more times I'll need to fill it, but I'm on the home stretch, so that's way better than it has been in previous years, because I know last year I dumped this trailer at least a dozen times. So we've gotten them kind of under control, and believe it or not, that was actually one of the reasons we wanted to get goats, was to help keep the thistles under control, because I had learned that goats will eat them. Unfortunately, the goats are over yonder and the thistles are mainly over here. Yes, I do have aspirations of at some point fencing in this area and making it goat pasture as well, down the road, but in the meantime I've got to do it myself. So I've been really behind on mowing because it is full-on mowing season. But where was I going with that? Oh yes, I'm behind on the mowing. Now this part out here is not so bad because this area is very dry, but up around the house, up around the front area, it's much more moist and it grows like crazy. And so that was just an absolute jungle to mow. But the reason I was behind is because we had to order a new tire for the John Deere here. This is my little garden tractor. And my Mahindra's in the shop. And it's one of those slap yourself on the forehead situations. We made a rookie mistake. A rookie mistake as far as a tractor owner goes. Now, I have never had a tractor before. I've never driven a tractor before. I've never even ridden on a tractor before. And so when we got our tractor, I didn't know anything about it. I kind of let Mr. Smith take charge of researching all that as far as what kind to get and how to work it and all that good stuff. And normally I read manuals and figure all that stuff out myself, but I just kind of, I relegated that task to him because there's only so much I can do. And I thought, well, I'll just let him deal with the tractor. The tractor can be his thing. I'll just use it. I should have read it, or at least I should have read some of it, because he forgot, and I didn't know, that when you do not use your tractor for a while, there's a little clip on the clutch that you depress the clutch and you lock it into place. Because if you don't do that and you go, say, most of the winter without touching your tractor, your clutch can actually rust together and seize. Yeah, it is a very, very costly mistake. Our local tractor place where we got our tractor from said they are going to do everything they can to make sure that that's covered under the warranty, because we are like right at the cusp. But we haven't heard from them yet. It's been going on 2 weeks. They said they're really behind because it's just a busy time of year. Yes. So they're going to try and do their tricks for getting it to unhook. We tried a few of them to get it to come apart, but we really just didn't want to tear up the tractor. So they came and picked it up. They took it in, and when they get to ours, they're going to try their easy tricks first. And if it doesn't work, it's going to mean what's called splitting the tractor. They literally have to split the tractor in half, 2 parts, to get to the clutch to fix it. Yeah. So, I've been without the Mahindra, and I've been without the John Deere. I mowed the garden area, with my walk-behind mower, which is what I usually do anyways, but everything else has been very much behind. So, I'm coming out here, and I'm pulling my weeds, and I'm kind of mowing as I move, because I'm filling my trailer here up, but I'm mowing as I go. That way when I have to go dump my trailer, I can see exactly where I left off and come right back to that point. And then once I get finished doing all this, I will come back and mow the pasture. So, in with the earbuds and back to listening to my podcasts. Oh, and yes, I am wearing my boots. I have invested in a bunch of plantar fasciitis insoles. Lots and lots of insoles. And so I'm staying off my feet as much as possible. So like I'm out here doing all my weed pulling, and then I will go in the house and get off my feet. But work's gotta get done. So you do what you gotta do. Hey guys, so it is now evening. I have been outside pretty much all day today. Went in for lunch, checked my emails, and came right back outside. The plan was for this week to be planting, and so after I got done mowing everything in sight, I came into the garden and was doing a little bit more bed prep work, pulling some weeds that had grown since I did the work on it the other day. I've got a stampede of goats over there. They're going crazy. Because, you know, I mentioned not too long ago about how your garden zone does not determine when you plant. Your garden zone has more to do with your lows that you have, your perennial types of plants, what can withstand your winters. Your final frost date, your final freeze dates, those are what are your determining factors as for when you are planting. And for here in where we are in Alabama, it is like April 18th, 19th, and that's like now. And that's kind of exciting because it's like, oh, the weather's beautiful, the date is here, I can plant. And then I check the weather. No, I can't. So I will be waiting another week. I'm a little concerned with all of my tomato plants because they are desperately needing to get into the ground. I think next year, now this year I did push back my start date for my seeds. I think next year I'm going to push it back even further. So I'm going to make a note in my garden journal, and next year, rather than starting on February 15th, which is kind of like a good date for me, I'm going to push it back and look at like the very last week of February, maybe even the 1st of March for starting my seeds. That way, I am not like overly anxious and concerned over my tomato plants because they're really struggling. Or the other thing that I could do is I transplanted all of those little bitty seedlings into their own pots. I used 4-inch pots. I had larger pots. I have a lot of larger pots, and maybe that would have been an option as well. So I guess I'll just need to think about it. If I go with the same date, I will make a point to transplant into the larger pots. If I push it back, then I guess it wouldn't really matter. I'll have to think about it and be sure to make those notes in my garden journal. That's one of the reasons I love keeping a garden journal, why it's so helpful to do so. I have a video all about that. So instead of planting this week, that actually does give me a little bit more time because I had a lot I would have needed to have gotten done in just a couple of days that I'm a little bit behind on, and that'll give me time to get those things done and not, you know, stress out too much about it. Instead, I am going to be giving pedicures to all the animals. It is pedicure week. The goats are due to get their hooves trimmed. Miss Sophie back there, she's off to the side. She is due to get hers trimmed. So it is going to be pedicures all around. And I know you probably can't see it back there. Well, I'm sure you can't see it back there. But I got Sophie's area divided off. I have a section divided off with one of the stalls from the barn over there, and it is ready. So Sophie's new friend is going to be coming soon. I don't know when, one of these days this week. So that's kind of another reason for Miss Sophie to get her pedicure on, make a good impression on her new friend. But in any case, I think that is about it for today. I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. Been a very productive day. Doesn't look like I got a lot done, but I did. I got a ton of mowing done. it feels good to have finally gotten most of the mowing done. There's still a little bit of mowing up here around the house that hasn't been done, but that'll get done this week. But the big stuff did. All of the pasture got mowed, and it was looking pretty rough. So that is it for today. Thanks for hanging. Oh, one last thing, I almost forgot. So you may have noticed I made a minor change to the name of my channel here. You know, I've been a blogger forever. I've been a blogger since before it was even called blogging. And my blog's name is, of course, Cosmopolitan Cornbread, cosmopolitancornbread.com. And when I launched my channel here, I named it the same thing just for branding's sake, I suppose. But after we moved out here to the homestead, and my YouTubing kind of took on a different aspect. I mean, before when I did it, I was just vlogging, and I just vlogged whatever. I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just doing it for the fun of it. Now I put a little bit more effort into it, and you know, it's part of my lifestyle. But a lot of it has to do with this. And the name of our farm is A Good Life Farm. And quite frankly, ever since we bought our property and started this journey, I have wanted to change the name of my channel to match this, A Good Life Farm. And I've played around with it for some time, but you know, we're looking at almost 5 years that I've been wanting to do this, and I feel like I should have probably done it at that point, but it is going to happen. My website is still always going to be cosmopolitancornbread.com, but my channel here is going to transition over to being called A Good Life Farm, because it is more about the lifestyle and the cooking, but the lifestyle, just living this life, a good life on our farm. And so for the time being, you will see the Cosmopolitan Cornbread - A Good Life Farm. Over time, I will swap that, and eventually, yeah, it'll all be changed over. So it will gradually eventually transition over to being that. The logo will still stay the same. The hen with the spoon, just because it's easy. It's me. Just for recognition's sake, it'll be easy to spot. It's always the same, but I know it might be confusing at first, but I really have wanted to do it for a long time, and I decided it's my channel and that's what I'm going to do. So, in any case, now I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So thanks for joining me out here on the homestead. I will talk to y'all next time.